Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 2016 Crossing the Chasm from Bench to Business Conference. This event is jointly organized by SI2C, Spark Taiwan, TRPNA, and STPI. We appreciate your time to join us today. To start this morning's session, we're pleased to have Dr.蔡少正, the Director General of Department of Life Sciences, Ministry of Science and Technology, to deliver the opening remarks. Welcome, Dr. Cai.
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor to be here today to say something regarding this success program we call SI2C Spark. In the Department of Life Sciences, like 4 years ago, we started this program called Spark, Anchor University Program. The purpose of this program is to train our faculty members and students to become more industrialized, cross beyond the bridge of academia and industry. So this program now has been completed for 3 years, and this year we will launch the 4th year's program. In the past 3 years, we have fostered 123 teams. That's a very easy number to remember, 1, 2, 3. Okay? 123 teams that have been cultivated by Spark program. And we have 5 universities so far. Okay? Last year we have 6 universities, but this year, because we have this very rigid evaluation systems, so 1 university was cut because it does not reach the high standard we set up. So this year we will have 5 universities still serve as anchor university to cultivate the team and foster the whole program to be success. So for this year, now in the government at this moment, actually in 15 minutes from now, I have got to defend the budget for Spark. Yeah, thank you. I'm so sorry that I cannot stay here with you today because this meeting was arranged yesterday. So with the success number that in teams that we cultivate and tech transfer and also the company that formed by these teams that are fostered by Spark program. I'm confident that I can have very strong words to fight for our budget for next year. So although I cannot be here with you for today, but I sincerely wish that we have fruitful conference today, and from today to forever, that our friendship and our program can run smoothly. And finally, I would like to wish everyone have a very healthy spirit and your physical body. So keep everyone health, so we can work together in the long run to boost the biotech industry and all the whole economy for Taiwan and global. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Cai. And we're also pleased to have Dr.庄裕澤, the Director General of STPI, of National Applied Research Laboratory, and also the Principal Investigator of Spark Taiwan, to give his opening remarks. Welcome, Dr. Zhuang.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, and on behalf of the conference organizer, Spark Taiwan, I would like to welcome you to come to the conference. And as Director General Chai just mentioned, just give a brief introduction about Spark Taiwan. It was initiated 4 years ago. And actually, Spark Taiwan was, the model was borrowed by Stanford Spark. And Stanford Spark was established 10 years ago. And the purpose of this program is to help researchers in pharmaceutical and environmental device area to translate their research discoveries to clinical and commercial sector. And if I recall correctly, I think more than 50%, right? 50% of the, nearly 60% of the project funded in Spark, in Stanford Spark, has been licensed to the industry. And so far, as Director Chai just mentioned, we are about 1/4 of our research teams have their research result been licensed or under check to license to the industry. And today's main theme of the workshop is closing the chain from bench to business. I think for the Spark program, the collaboration between academia and industry is very important, particularly for the pharmaceutical area. I think for today, it costs up to $2 billion, and as long as 10 years to develop a new job. So this pharmaceutical research is a high cost investment, and without the help from industry, I think the academic alone would not be able to translate the research discovery to the commercial sector. And I'm very pleased to have some distinguished guests to share their experiences from both academia and from industry, how the two sectors should cooperate. And I would like to thank all the speakers today to deliver their experiences. And especially thanks to Professor Daria Mochly-Rosen. She is the founder of Stanford Spark, and she just arrived last night. Welcome all the speakers and welcome audience. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. John. We're also pleased to have Dr.张鸿仁, the Vice Chairman of TRPMA, to give his opening remarks. Welcome, Dr. Zhang.
Good morning. So excited and so pleased to have our distinguished guests, and also actually we have become very good friends, and it's nice if you live long enough and stay long enough. Everybody's your friend. And also so happy to see so many young people here, because this is the younger generation, which is this Spark program is all about. So really nice. TRPMA is a research-based biotech pharmaceutical association, which we are very honored to co-sponsor this program. So I would like to represent this community to welcome all the distinguished guests, our friends and young people for this wonderful session. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zhang. Before we start the conference, we would like to invite all our honorable guests to come up to the stage for group photos. So Dr. Tsai, Dr. Zhuang, Dr. Zhang, and Professor Mochly-Rosen, please come forward and take a seat. We also want to invite Dr. Hu Youpu, Dr. Chen Hende, Mr. Brian Chen, Dr. Calvin Chen, Ms. Carol Chen to take photos, and Dr. Hong Hong to take group photos with us. It's our honor to have numerous experts from industry and academia to join this conference. We hope all the participants will find this conference to be fruitful and engaging. Thank you very much. Our honorable guests, please be seated. Pleasure to have Dr. Cheng De, the Chief Medical Officer of SI2C, Super Integration and Innovation Center, and also the Acting Executive Officer of Biotechnology Incubation Center at Academia Sinica, to be the moderator for keynote speech and session 1. Dr. Chen, welcome.
It's my great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Professor Daria Mochly-Rosen. And I think you can read on the page 12 of the brochure about her CV. But I just want to mention a few words how we get started 8 years ago when I met Daria in Taiwan. And she brought her research scientist, Dr. Zhihong Chen, came to Taiwan. And right in front of the lobby of a small hotel, we start to talk about the idea today, how to bring academic research, commercialize it into a business and even to clinical. And suddenly I found just like spark. It's something that Taiwan needs because Zhihong said as a researcher, he didn't know how to do drug development, but Stanford sparked talking how to do it. And then Daria said he didn't know how to do it too, but after he tried to commercialize her technology, and no one wanted to tell her how to do it, so he just have a 1 year sabbatical, leave Stanford and set up her company, and then learn how to do it, and then come back, want to teach others. But with this passion, he boldly said, the new drug development process in pharmaceutical company is a failure. I surprised so much. We should learn from company. How come he said should not spend so long, so much time, and so low success rate. And he managed to do it. Inspired as a research, as a senior research dean of Stanford Medical School, and she persuaded everyone and start everything from scratch. And then today we just heard that 60% of success rate over 100 academic research projects, and with 24 universities, including 6 from Taiwan, promoting spark idea. So during these 8 years, I visited Stanford more than 10 times, and I think Daria perhaps visited Taiwan also more than 10 times, because she had quickly agreed to be our NRPB program advisor, so she came every year. And I also asked, how come you are so special to Taiwan? And she just said, because many good Taiwanese helping her doing research in Stanford, so she like to make Taiwan as an example for all the others to follow. And that's what she really did. So she came all the time and always did a good space for Taiwan to showcase what we are doing in here. So I think she's not only a very good scientist, published more than 240 papers, and started 3 companies, and the one that I just said she learned how to do it, become Kai pharmaceutical company acquired by Amgen, I think more than $300 million US. So she became a champion in Stanford, and I think she's a person with action. So more amazing things would still yet to come. So let's welcome Daria to give us her talk.
First, I want to tell you what a pleasure it is to be here. What a warm welcome, and seeing so many friends. Most amazingly, seeing the amazing progress that has been made here. Like Hender mentioned, I feel a special affinity for Taiwan, not only because of, as you said, many colleagues of mine who were from Taiwan who made a difference in my life, but because I always say that it makes me feel like I'm in Israel. So I was born in Israel, and I think we have a lot in common. And it's amazing to see how much of that I see the more I know Taiwan. That this kind of agility and ability to work together, and creativity, and tenacity, and efficiency, and on and on. I'm really proud to be part of what you've done here in a small way, but I also feel extremely enriched by what you've done. I learned a great deal from you, so I'm really grateful for that. I also want to say that usually people can't pronounce my name. And I've been amazed that the two of you pronounce my first name and last name perfectly well. So it might mean that I've come here too many times, but I appreciate that as well. So yeah, it's Mochly, like you guys have pronounced it properly. Yeah. All right. I just heard that you had 130 projects or 124 projects as 128? 23. And your success rate is 24% for the fourth year, for the 3 years, right? We're just starting your fourth. And your success is measured by moving things to industry. So I will explain to you how we measure our success rate, which is a bit different. But I want to also point out that Eli Lilly published their own study on success rate from early stage to moving forward, so it would be equivalent to what you've done. And their success rate, I think, is 5 or 10%. 24% success rate is amazing success rate, moving projects to industry. So congratulations, this is an amazing achievement. So I'll come back to how we measure our success rate, and we can discuss why this is a bit different agenda than a governmental agenda. All right, so let's begin. Some of you have heard it, so I'll go through some of the slides faster, but I also got from each one specific questions that I will introduce as a slide, and then I will answer as needed. And you will watch for time, so when it's time for me to finish, just wave your hand, because I can stop at any point. I can also continue forever. Okay, so the problem is that academic research is oftentimes leading to publication, and we in academia are rather frustrated that these discoveries that are published in first-rate journals or even in lesser journals really never been picked up by industry. And the reason for this frustration comes from the fact that we know that very few new drugs are being made every year. Some of them are repurposed drugs, some of them are now with antibody therapeutics, perhaps there is a small rise, but overall the success rate is very low, and importantly, as General Director John mentioned, it costs about $2 billion to do that. It's just not reasonable for a drug to be so expensive. But we also need to understand that what the industry is expecting from our research is more than we have delivered through our publication. So there is this gap, which is called the value of death, because it means that our ideas are basically dying. And that gap I was trying to close through creating this program, Spark. As Hender Chern mentioned, I actually noticed this gap firsthand when I started the company, the Kai Pharmaceuticals. But unlike what he said, during my 1 year in Kai, I didn't learn what I need to teach. I just learned what I don't know. And that is important lesson to learn. And what we continue to do is learn what we don't know, and who are the people who know and can help us close this gap. So Spark is not a teaching of how to, but rather who to ask for the right advice. Okay. So the first question that I was asked is about our mission. So we are providing basically a partnership between industry and university to solve this problem of drug discovery and development. But our goals are as follows. First of all, we need to educate our faculty, the educators, in what it is needed to be taught to our students who are going to actually hold those jobs in industry. So how to do translational research. And importantly, our goal is to take our early discoveries and translate them to FDA-approved drugs and treatment, and or changing in clinical practice. Either goals are equivalent in our eyes. So the way we do it is we take basic discoveries from both clinicians and basic researchers throughout the university, and we take those individuals and put them together in a room with volunteers, mentors who are expert coming from industry. Many of them are still working. They are volunteers. In other words, they are not being paid for what they do. We meet with them every Wednesday night throughout the year, except that in the last 2 years we started to have a short vacation during the summer. They have a release from their companies to advise us so that they sign confidentiality agreement as individuals with us, and they do not divulge any information that they learn to their companies. Their relationship are not quid pro quo. They do not get anything out of that except the help that they provide us and the joy they get from it, and it's truly joy. They oftentimes tell me as they walk out, wow, that was fun. And if they invent something, which sometimes happens that an advisor will invent something, they sign in advance that the invention belongs to the university. Those are very unique relationships, and unlike relationships that we usually have with pharma. And they are important in that they make sure that everything stays still within the university. We meet on the university campus, we meet with the same advisors over a long time, we develop long-term relationship with them, and they provide everything for free. So the questions that I'm oftentimes asked, so does it ever happen that certain technologies goes through the advisors to industry? Absolutely. It does happen that they are the one who provide the introduction, or that they end up having a company that they are associated with licensing it, but they do not have any special right, and they cannot bring it up with their companies without first talking with us about acting on this idea. So the question that I was asked by Chun is, how do we foster this collaboration? In fact, I'm oftentimes asked, how did you have so many advisors? We have over 100 advisors that come every Wednesday night. In fact, sometimes we have to turn people down because it's just we have too many advisors that are associated with us. The way we started with this relationship is after a year at CAI, when I came back to academia, I realized that I need both money and advice in order to start this program. So I went to many people that I've met in industry and asked them for their money. And they said, Daria, this idea is so amazing. It would be fantastic that you are creating this kind of program in academia. But we don't have any money to give you. We are so poor. But if you want anything else, please let me know. So of course, I took everybody's name down. And when it came down to starting to create the program, I called them up and said, you said no money, but you have to show up and help me with this program. And that's how we started. We started with 6 advisors in the first few months, and then very, very quickly we got to this very, very large number of advisors. Having many advisors is a key component of the success. And that is because if you have one advisor, as Kai had, because you pay for the advisors to give you an advice, you follow their advice. You pay for it, you do what they say, even when it doesn't make much sense. An advisor that makes bad advice can destroy the company. And if you read the Spark book, you will have stories that happened to me in Kai from a bad advice. So having multiple advisors is important, but also importantly, let's say we have 5 or 10 medicinal chemists that are advising a particular project on medicinal chemistry. That by itself is an amazing wealth of knowledge. I mean, there is no equivalent to it in industry because usually you don't get advice from various big pharma on the same project. You have only from whoever is in your own company. But importantly, we don't only have the advice of these 10 medicinal chemists. but there are people who've been chief scientific officer, chief medical officer, regulatory affairs, and so on. They've been in industry for many, many years. They can also make a comment about an idea of medicinal chemistry because they've been exposed to so much. So our advice here is really 360 degrees, and that's particularly valuable. The question is, how do we select the companies with which we are collaborate? So as you understand, we do not collaborate with companies, we collaborate with individuals. And the way they are being picked up is basically self-nomination. So people can come to us, they are interviewed by both me and Kevin Grimes, who you met, who is co-director of the program, and he's an MD, an MBA. Very important, so he watches the money. I'm not very good with that. And we are collecting the advisor this way. But I think Ichon is asking another question, and more regarding the exit, how the programs are identifying a partner in the industry to help them with their the next step. And that is actually done entirely by the Office of Technology Licensing. I will tell you more about it later on. But we are now more active in trying to expose our programs to industry ourselves. And basically we do it based on what their website says that they are interested in that month. As you know, the flavor of the month is changing all the time. So all the companies are putting it on their website, and they change very quickly. For example, at one point I dealt with Big Pharma, who was very interested in neurodegeneration. And they invested a lot of money in a particular project, not part of Spark. And then they changed their mind and said, oh, now we don't like neurodegeneration, we just want psychiatry. So that was the end. And now 6 months later, they are again interested in neurodegeneration. So if you hang on to a program or a company for long enough, you can hit the cycle that they're interested in your project. All right, then the next question is regarding funding from industry. So in Spark, we were very careful not to get direct money from industry. We felt that a relationship that are providing direct funding to projects will tie our hands. After all, we have volunteers from the same and competing industry companies helping us for free. And now one company is going to have special right for a particular program. That would be wrong. So every time industry came to us with an offer to give us money, we said, you can give money to Spark global program and let us choose which project gets the money. And of course they always say, well, but we want to have more supervision, to give advice. We say, okay, in that case, go to a particular individual at Stanford and have a relationship with them, not through Spark. So we do not have companies giving money for a particular project that is within Spark. Okay, so what do we actually do? We identify a mentor, as I mentioned. We select project to develop a proof of concept. And we are really not caring at what stage the project is. So it could be I identify the target, and I'm interested in doing high throughput screening to identify a compound that will affect that target and move it forward. Or it could be I'm a clinician and I notice something in the clinic, and I want to follow that to see whether my observation is actually can be confirmed. We meet weekly, as I told you. We provide funding. And the amount of funding is actually very small. It's about $50,000 a year a project for 2 years. That's, if we compare industry, that is putting about $1 million to $2 million a year for 2 years. The success rate based on the small amount has to do with a number of things, and I'll tell you in a minute about it. And most importantly, I think, we really changed how our academician thinks about translational research. I feel strongly that this is our social responsibility as an academic institution to make sure that the money that is provided to us to do research, when the opportunity arises to make something that will impact society, we as an academic institution have to do something about it to translate it to products that benefit humans. I'm not saying that every individual has to do it, but as an institution we have to do it. So to educate our academician in this translational research is really one of our visions. We start with something that we academicians have a big problem with. starting to think about the end from the beginning. And the end, of course, is the drug. Why is it a challenge? Because we in academia are curious creatures. We write grants, and we provide in the grants, you know, here are the things that we want to discover, and it will take us 3 years to do it, and here are the specific aims, and here is how we progress a project. Then we get the money, when we are lucky, and then we start to work on it, and we discover something unexpected, so we go to the right and start to work on that, and then we discover something else, and we go to the left and do something about that. And as long as we continue to produce new science and publish papers, at least in the US, the National Institute of Health is pleased with that progress. Nobody is holding us accountable for what we said 5 years ago about the project deliverable. Of course, in industry, this is impossible. You have to be very focused. You have to think about where you're going, where you are now, and how you take the shortest path to make sure that you get to your goal in the timely fashion with the smallest budget expense. Thinking like that is very unnatural for academicians, and I would say that the biggest challenge that we have is with that. So let's go to our $50,000 a year. Usually, faculty run their laboratory with a budget of about $500,000 to $1 million. Some labs are luckier and have even more. So $50,000 a year is nothing. And then we don't give them the $50,000. We actually hold it centrally, and we give it to them towards milestones. So once they achieve a certain milestone, we give them the next chunk. And they need to report about it every quarter. And for the NIH, you need to write a short report once a year that takes about half an hour to report. With us, it's a serious presentation to our advisors. I have water here, it's okay. So it's quite different. Sorry, it's quite different from what we are used to. The bottom line is that the amount of money is not the reason why our Sparky coming to work with us, and that's rather important. Because you don't want people to come because it's a source of money. You want people to come because it's a source of knowledge. And I think that we succeeded with that. As I said, the funding is based on milestone payments. We provide project management, which is again the one that is very difficult for academicians to follow, and the project management skills are rather important. I think here at Spark Taiwan, you were very lucky that you have professionals that train the scientists to do project management. We provide education related to product development. We provide the mentorship. We are providing introduction to potential collaborators and companies in the future, and again, I will tell you more about it at the end. And we do teach entrepreneurship skill, but I have to say that both Kevin and I do that reluctantly. So we feel that academicians, us professors are being recruited to academia, we should stay at what we are good at, which is academic work. So it's really defeating the purpose if all the professors then becomes entrepreneurs and move out from Stanford or from your institution. But we have to recognize that the postdocs and the graduate students really want to learn because they might become the future entrepreneurs. And so that's why we teach entrepreneurship through Spark, and also we have a special class on entrepreneurship that we provide. Okay, so the criteria for success, and that's related to Director John's comment. If they entered clinical trial at Stanford and are never going to make money, that's a success. If they license to existing company or to a startup, so both existing company and startup, it's a success. Those are criteria that we've established because it fits our agenda. Here you have a government-sponsored activity with the overall goal to build a pharmaceutical or biotech industry in Taiwan. So your criteria, being companies, is absolutely acceptable criteria, and I have to do the calculation to figure out what our success rate. But I will say that your success rate is amazing. This is a very, very good number, and congratulations. You're doing way better than any industry. And by the way, any government. Okay, so these are the numbers, 60% success rate. So 73, these are numbers from year 9. So 21, actually I think they are 23, but let's say 21 over 73 is whatever success rate that will be equivalent to yours. Then 6 license, 3 transfer without licensing. So we are totally good with that as well. And there are now, I think, also 30 or 31 clinical trials, 13 of which, or maybe 14 of which are without license. Those will be repurposed drugs. Thank you so much. So overall, if you sum it up, it's 60% success rate. So it's about, what does it make, about 1/3? So it's close to your number. It's not higher than your number. And really, you are in the 4th year or the 3rd year. This is fantastic success rate, right? It's 21 over 73. Okay, so more questions from Ichun. So how does Spark evaluate drug project and decide when to move them to business development or licensing? We select projects based on our ability to move the project to the next step. So if we feel we have the expertise and we feel that the faculty is motivated to work with us, those are the criteria to, and importantly, the project addresses an unmet clinical need, then we take it on. So those are the criteria. We are not making the decision when to move it forward to development or when to license it. This is the job of the Office of Technology Licensing. But we oftentimes are asked, both by OTL and by the investigator. So we provide advice with no strings attached, and we also provide introduction because over the years, as you can imagine, we met a lot of people in industry, in business development and so on, that we are investors and pharma, and we are helping with those introductions. So what are the models for collaboration? As I said, we don't have active models except for their volunteering with us and getting to know us and watching our projects evolve. And I can tell you that industry oftentimes and VC oftentimes tell us that if they hear that somebody was a Spark project or somebody was a Sparky themselves, they get extra attention because they know that they are going to work with somebody that understands better what it is that they need to do next. And how do we interact with OTL? Is that from the beginning, we selected project every year from disclosures that faculty made for development of intellectual property that were not licensed that year. So we look at the rejects, so to speak, and we look for projects that we think we can work on and help advance. We meet with OTL regularly, at least twice a year, and we have somebody from OTL sits usually on most of our Wednesday night and definitely during our selection week. They oftentimes now tell inventors, talk to Spark, or apply for Spark funding if they think that the project is worthy. So we work with them closely, but not as they do not ask us to vote on their decision. We are independent from them, but we have to rely on close relationship with them. And they, by the way, don't decide on anything that we do either. This is a very, very important question, is what time do you talk with industry before or after there is IP protection for the invention? So let's start first with the biggest challenge for us academicians. We talk. We always talk about what we do, we share it with everyone, and oftentimes we don't realize that by divulging something that have a potential therapeutic to somebody else, by that you are ruining the chance that that project will ever be developed by anyone. Because if an idea is not protected by intellectual property, nobody will invest money in it. And you have to invest money in order to make a drug. So we academicians took this high horse saying, oh, but we are about science and science is to share and so on. Yeah, that's all correct. But it takes no effort to protect the idea from the point of view of the academician. I don't know the procedure exactly in Taiwan. We actually talked about some challenges that you have about IP protection, but you have to protect it before you give the information, the detailed information. You can talk about it without giving, the the specific information about your invention. But without IP protection, talking about the information per se is a mistake that is ruining the chance that your idea will impact patient health. So it's very important to educate faculty in that. At Stanford, it's very easy. We write a disclosure that is about half a page long, and that's already, this is enough material for them to file a provisional if they decide to do it. They don't decide in 100% of the cases, far from that. And then we tell the faculty, okay, tell me exactly what you're going to talk about with your industry. We can guide you through that. But I have to say that we were sitting on meetings where the faculty needs to be kicked under the table to stop from saying everything. Because we kind of forget. You know, we're so excited about all that we've done that we divulge too much information. So this is a very important question. And then, what do they look from academia? Well, they look for phase 3 data. Okay, sometimes just phase 2. Now, it's ridiculous what industry is looking from academia. They're so unrealistic. So not only that we have to educate our investigators, we also have to educate our partner, which is industry. They want as far as possible, but I think that we both sides are now more realistic about the relationship, and I think we need to understand that industry is requiring proof of concept that is done at the highest standard of science. So I want to tell you a little story about that. When I started CHI, I hired the CEO, a guy named John Walker. I really love this man. Very, very talented, has entrepreneurship and CEOship in biotech area in the Silicon Valley that is made him very famous. He also worked in bigger pharma. I hired him. He had a degree in history, an undergraduate degree in history. I don't think he has an MBA. But he's a legend in the Valley. So he comes in, it's his first week, he calls a meeting for the company, a all-hands meeting in the company, in the conference room, and everybody is sitting down, looking up at the new CEO, and he said, I'm now going to teach you how to do science at the high level that industry demands, not this academic work. And I'm in the room. And the people that are in the room are the people I hired. And he's talking about my science. But I wasn't very pleased, as you can imagine. And I felt that I had really the highest degree of science. Not only that I've done it and I published it, but I gave the reagent to other people who published it, and I've done it in several ways and so on. He was absolutely right. What we do is not at the industry standard. And since about 4 years ago, there were a series of articles about this topic of why academic research is not at the highest quality, and why academic research oftentimes cannot be reproduced by industry. And if you did not review it in your various institutions and in Spark, I'm happy to send you this series of papers. We should stop everything that we're doing and take an hour or two to read these papers, discuss them, and look back at what we're doing. Because we are not doing anyone a favor by publishing things that cannot be reproduced. We are actually ruining the chances that the industry will look at our work. So if you haven't done it, I'm happy to send you those papers. They were published in Science, in Nature, in Cell. People have to spend time reading them in order for us to wake up and do better science. So John Walker, undergraduate history, was right. And then what do we do to promote the projects? This is, as I said, really the main job of OTL. But because we felt that there is an opportunity that is unique to Spark, last year, as some of you know, we started the Bio-Investor Forum Spark session. Investor Forum is a yearly meeting, and they told us that the attendance to the Spark session was the highest than any other session they had in their forum, which is 3 days event. We're going to have the next one coming up in October, and actually Spark Taiwan participated last year in this forum as well. So this is an opportunity to expose projects to industry. Okay, So it's working because we have multiple opinions in the room. As I explained to you, we don't have advice from one person. It works because we do it on campus, so the know-how is not moving along with the entrepreneur. Many universities create those incubators where the entrepreneur or inventor is moving to the incubator and learn by industry advice how to do better, and then they move to their companies. So the knowledge is moving with them, and you start from zero every year. New person is coming in. We do it on campus, so the knowledge stays on campus. And in fact, by now we have educated so many at Stanford that I feel that even if they are not Sparky, they have by diffusion been educated in what needs to be done. It's an opening change, and here is a challenge: no hierarchy. It is possible that somebody very junior will have the better advice than somebody who has been in industry for a long time, or a big professor in your institution. Hierarchy is a killer for translational research, and it is something that is very difficult. I mean, I'm challenged with that oftentimes, where somebody junior will suggest something on our project, my project, way better than my idea. If the goal is to get the idea translated, then whose ego matters? No one's. So we really have to have a structure that have no hierarchies, that allows people to speak up freely, and that the goal is, as we all remember, is just moving the project forward. And then ongoing is also very important. People have to show commitment. If somebody comes once when they are presenting and then don't come to other meetings, we actually cut their money. We cut their funds because we feel that they are not willing to, first of all, learn from others, which is critical, but also continue to help other projects as well. So this is very important. And then we learn from past failure, our own, which are plenty, but also from industry. Remember, industry people, when there is a project that failed, it means that the project is terminated. And the person is moving to the next project, and all the lessons learned may die with this termination of this project. In the meetings, all the lessons that they learned from those projects that were terminated can be shared. They don't give the information about their own company, so they do not divulge secrets of the industry, they don't give details. But they teach us a great deal about what to avoid and what works better and what experience teaches them. And by the way, that's one of the things that they love the most, to give all the stories about the scars from their previous wars. And you know that we started, actually our first export of Spark was to Taiwan. I feel very lucky how effective it turned out to be. And I think that this first conversation, even though I still didn't go to Alishan, by the way, it's hint to everybody, because it's been 10 years that I'm coming, 8 years that I'm coming here, and it was the first Sunday that we met in front of the hotel that we were supposed to go to Alishan. So, just saying. Just saying. So I guess I'll change it to 5. I congratulate you for terminating one site. And I tell you why, and I do it oftentimes also in Spark. That's another John Walker lesson. So we had a project that failed, that we went into clinical trial and there was a side effect that, that caused us to say that this patient population are not going to benefiting from the drug, and we had to terminate the project. And the decision was made to terminate the project. And then John sends an email to everybody, we're going to have a party to celebrate the termination of the project. The guy is nuts. What do you mean? Everybody's going like this, oh no, and, what will happen? And he said that the decision to terminate is even more important than the decision to continue. Because what it does for a company, but also for Spark projects, is that it releases money to do better with projects that are having a better chance to succeed. And if you do not terminate, if you do not celebrate it, the people who fail do not realize that that's also an achievement. To know when a project is not going to go forward is an achievement and a lesson that is more valuable than success, because we are successful for many reasons that have nothing to do with us, but the failure is oftentimes have to do with us. So he had this party, and I have to say that I felt this whole thing is fake. But during the party, he said, I want you also to spend time thinking about what does it mean and whether it gives you a new idea. And actually, Kai was sold to Amgen because of an idea that came from that failure, not from my technology from Stanford. So there is no better lesson than celebrating failures and failing fast. Failing fast is another important factor. So it's hard. People feel like they lost face. It was probably uncomfortable. It's friends. But you have to do it. And you have to also recognize with the rest is that it is a motivator, but also there are lessons learned, so that the others that are staying around are going to do better. So this is a hard thing, and I congratulate you for doing that.
Daria,
yes?
what does the color mean represent?
Okay, red is active, blue is starting, black are programs in the US that are actually more blacks than any other color. I should fix it because they don't call it Spark. Or they say, oh, we're doing it differently. Our has a different name and a different style, so it's okay. Fine. Sorry. Okay, so that's our first Spark international meeting. So now the first one was celebrated here. You can see the same faces. But you also see Spark from other countries, so Australia, and University of Indiana, and University of Vermont, and from Japan, Brazil, where is Brazil? Brazil, Germany, and Singapore. So we are trying to create an organization that will be global because we feel that together we can do something that is better than each of our Spark programs. So we are creating this Spark Global where we try to address unmet clinical need. And for example, we already through Spark Global have a project in Taiwan with the dengue. So Stanford and Taiwan are working together on addressing the dengue problem, which by the way was considered a developing country problem. And now suddenly where is dengue in the US, there is more attention to it also in the US. Not developing, it's everything global is local. Okay, and you know about the book, and you know about the people. Most important is Kevin Grimes, who joined me after a year to come to Spark, actually from Kai, and he actually knows something about the business. He worked for 15 years in industry and also has an MBA and watched the, as I said, the bank account. And how much time do I have? I can stop here. What? Continue or stop? Stop. Okay, fantastic. So like I said, I can talk all day long, but the bottom line is what we do is worthwhile. Sparking is an opportunity for academia to pay back to society. It's not only worthwhile, but it's doable, and your track record shows that it can be done even in 3 years. So congratulations, and I'm really glad to see, to be part of it in some way. So.
So I would like to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Oliver Hu, and we can see detailed CV from page 13. But I want to mention a few aspects of Dr. Oliver Hu because not only a good researcher in clinical pharmacology, published more than 150 papers, he's a distinguished professor at National Defense Medical Center. But he has taken so many years working in regulatory agency as a Director General of currently Taiwan FDA. So CD was set up during his service, and he also once served as the minister without portfolio Executive Yuan. But at the same time, still keeping on his research work, and he has several drug development projects now. Licensed to drug company, so I think he's also a full spectrum from research to regulatory science and then to drug development. And he's also a very long-term advisor to the government. and set up a lot of very breakthrough legislation, including the Orphan Drug Relief Act. So let's welcome Dr. Pharmacokinetic.
Thank you very much for inviting me to share with you my past experience related to technology transfer. Just listen to Daria's talk. I think almost finished 90% of my talk. So it's very easy for you. You just keep remember what Daria just said. Ignore what I said. That would be very successful. Very successful. I have 30 minutes, but I would like to respond to Daria's comment on the successful rate in Taiwan first. I had this statistics, very interesting. For the last 4 years, SI2C and also IDMI, which is 生策会生策中心, they evaluate, for the last 4 years, they evaluate 520 projects, both supported by government and the industry. Among these 520, 79 evaluate as a druggable or a worse development. And within these 79, 11 of them finally set up a new company for their product. 11 of them in Taiwan. And 21 of them has a technology transferred. 21 of them. Compare with the Stanford data, total 73 out of 110 complete. And among the 73, I just repeat what Daria just said. 21 started a company. In Taiwan, 79, only 11 of them, 11 out of 79 started a company. So the whole country, the Taiwan whole country compares one university, Stanford University, a beautiful project, although it's among
10 years.
10 years and 5 continents. Okay. And in Taiwan, there's another 58 project enter clinical phase. So total, 11 of them new company, 21 of them technology transfer, plus another 58 enter clinical study. So total of them is 90. So the successful rate, according to Daria just said, for Taiwan, within this 520 instead of 123, 520, that would be something like 17.3. I think I'm right. 17.3% successful rate. Much lower than the successful rate from Stanford, which is 60%. So we have a lot to do. That's the first thing I would like to respond. So don't be so satisfied about our successful rate. It's about 1/3 of Stanford successful rate. I only have 30 minutes. I prepared some slides to share with you. Let's go. I'm going to talk about just purpose of drug discovery. You are saying in Chinese, 老生常谈. No, this is important. This is the purpose of drug discovery. This is important. And second, I'm going to talk about drug candidate selection. Again, another 老生常谈. I don't want to translate into English. The third one is I would like to share with you what I thought, because the organizer asked me not to talk about the experience of the technology transfer in Taiwan, although this is the topic, but want me to share my experiences. So what I'm going to share with you is my thinking and my experiences. There's nothing right, there's nothing wrong. It's just what was in my mind and until today. So the first one, purpose of drug discovery. What's in your mind? You want to make money? Or you want just successful? Or you want successful in academia? You want to publish a paper? You want to start a company? You want to be a slave of this company for the rest of your life? Think about it. So the first one, if you are thinking commercial success, you have your way to do. It's totally different from public health success. You are developing some drug, some medical device for public health. That's a totally different story. The third one, nobody really care rare disease if then this one will be left over. So besides commercial success for making money or public health for public, and then the third one is for a very small group of patients, which is a rare disease and orphan drug success. I think that's the three major directions. In the beginning, if you decided to go public health success, well, your strategy will be totally different. Okay, so think, what do you want? I want all of them. You can do it, you can do it. You have 25 hours a day, you have 8 days a week, you have 13 months a year. You live until 200 years old and you're still young. Okay, the second part, I finished first part already, you see, so quickly. The second part, drug candidate selection. It doesn't matter lead compound or not lead compound. The first thing I would like to share with you, very important, which is each program is unique. Setbacks are common. That means whatever I said today, I said to you today, it's not going to be useful because each program is unique. And also, failure always comes in front of successful. So don't just listen to, oh, Oliver just tell us a successful story. Oliver haven't success yet. And also, what's the definition for successful? For success. It's market success, or you have proved your concept, or you bring the drug all the way to put on market. So it really depends on what's in your mind. Second, safety issues are dominant nowadays. Safety issues are dominant. Because of instance of unexpected human toxicity occur recently so often. So safety issue always comes number one. I don't want to give you a series of very successful drug later on withdraw from market. Yeah. The third one is the pharmacological action is specific and important. No need to mention. Just one word. Your drug has to be very efficacious. The last one, because I'm going to start from my pharmacokinetics, so I always open my mind and look at the appropriate, and if the drug has appropriate pharmacokinetic property, especially for this country. I don't encourage you to always do new chemical entity or a new class of compound, or this is new and that new or novel. It costs you a fortune. And don't believe this country can develop so many new chemical entities. I don't believe that. So, pharmacokinetic basis of drug design development, to me, I focus on this for almost 33 years now, after I came back from the United States, 1984. And I just like Dr. Chen introduced me, I spent some time in industry, 4 years as a director in a drug company. We obtained 123 license. Of course, 121 is generic drug under my direction. Before, I was a director general in charge of Bureau of Pharmaceutical Affairs. So when I enter the government, I know what's wrong in the industry, I know what's wrong in our government. That's why we work together with Dr. Chen and Xiao Meilin and all these people. Together we found CDE when I was a director general. And also when you found something, you think you are going to approve a new drug, you always think some patient will get hurt. So we have this national adverse drug reaction reporting system. And then we have our drug relief foundation to complete the whole system. Not just approve the drug, but also protect our people. And also protect those people didn't make any mistake. So we have our 药害救济基金会. So we set up CD and at the same time we need to set up our drug relief foundation and also the national adverse drug reaction reporting system. That will complete the whole system in this country. Okay, I would like to move quickly to the next slide is drug candidate selection. You see this little charming ship. She found, grass at bottom of it, so just buy the grass. That's the tail of a lion. So don't bite off more than you can chew. I didn't say don't bite off more than you can digest. I didn't say don't bite off more than you can swallow. I say, don't bite off more than you can chew. 你连嚼都嚼不动，你去咬它，你不是找死吗？你仔细看一下这个狮子，它发怒的整棵树都已经被震动了，你这只羊还能留下来吗 ？Please don't bite off more than you can chew. 啊，很重要，很重要，所以不要心非常大，眼高手低。Aim high is right, but don't be too high. You're going to fall down. The next thing is I say to myself, my personal research limitation in Taiwan. The first one, science. I know very little science. Everybody knows very little science compared with the body of the science. So that's first limitation to a scientist. Second, how do you apply your science to the product? In Taiwan, liver disease is number one. And I spent some time in esophageal carcinoma. That's very unique cancer in this area. And also, I spent some time in cardiovascular disease and also pain control and so on and so on. So I know my limitation. I know what kind of application I can have. So I focus my almost 33 years research on these topics. And also niche. Niche is very important. It doesn't matter how fast you do your research. If you are doing very unique research, you don't need to afraid somebody are chasing you because you are doing something somebody else don't do it. The big company, giant company, they are not interested. So you have to find a niche. I'm going into great detail in the niche later on. And also, the traditional Chinese medicines are one of our niche. And also medical devices, because this country has very strong IC industry. We combine our medical system with our IC industry, we will have very good medical devices industry in this country. The next one is public health, infectious disease. This island is a very, very lonely island, from North Japan all the way to Philippines. Nobody going to really help us. We will help ourselves. Although United States, we consider as good friend of mine, good friend of us, but so far away. It takes 2 weeks to ship anything to this country to save our infectious disease. So we need to do something about that. The last one is the bottom one, is most important one, is the financial support. Do you have enough financial support? If you don't, then you can have a party. You can have a party. You don't spend so much time to you celebrate. You will not enter a place which like a hell. Every 2 years you find more money to support your research. Okay, so the first one, don't bite off more than you can chew. I have already finished. The second part are unmet medical need. That's the center of my talk today. You have to focus niche hiding in this unmet medical need. The definition for unmet medical need by US FDA, very simple, 2 things. The first one, you can see the first one is where there's no available therapy. Simple. The second one is a little bit more complicated. Where there's available therapy. Where there's available therapy still can be an unmet medical need. 3 directions. The first one is shown over there, the second line in bold. Avoiding serious toxicity that occurs with available therapy. That's what I'm going to share with you next example, anti-TB drug. The second one is avoiding less serious toxicity that is common and cause discontinuation of treatment of the serious condition. Anti-TB drug, where I'm going to talk about, also fits to this unmet medical need. The third one is reducing the potential and harmful drug interaction. Yes, the anti-TB drug I'm going to share with you also fits in this. Then, next one is provide safety and efficacy comparable to those available therapy such as improve compliance. That is expected to lead to an improvement in serious outcomes. The anti-TB drug also fits this too. I'll share with you later. Addresses an emerging or anticipated public health need, such as a drug shortage. For the last couple of years in this country, we mentioned several times, in this country, right now, 128 drugs. We need it, but we don't have it. So I'm not going to talk about this today. You know the original meaning of niche is what? It's this. 这个东西叫做 niche. 知道的请举手，不要被动。This is niche. Why niche come from this one? Because of this. You see, there's several niches there. 他们的发展是这样 the development process like this. There's several niches over there. There's something between the niche. You see, there's something between the niche. You're not finding the niche originally. You are finding something between the niche. That is the niche. So on the market, 在市场上 on the market, there are several niches here, but there is something empty in the middle. People need it, but they don't have it. That's the meaning of niche comes from. So you have to know what's the niche. Not trying to find the niche. Find the niche between the niche. And then you see the right-hand side one. There are so many niches over there. You have to find one niche suits you. You have to find one niche. You can become successful program. You can make it into a successful program. Not just a niche, then I just simply run into this niche. No. So this niche, just like so many apples, you should have some glasses or vision. You can pick up that one, the red one. Oh no, next time. The next one you want. So pick up the right one you want. That is the real niche for you. Not just niche for you. Okay, so many niches. I'll give you some examples about the niche in my mind for the last 10 years. The first one, the pain control. You know, for human, for our life, the rest of life, one is disease, the other one is pain. There's a big and tone. If you cannot get rid of all the disease, you get rid of pain. You still can enjoy your life. So I cannot get rid of all the diseases, so I focus on pain. What about pain? You have so morphine and this and that. What about pain? I need a pain control, painkiller. First, with the characteristics. The first one is long acting. Long acting. Give me a single injection. As long as I feel pain, this painkiller works. The second one, I don't want narcotics, non-controlled substance, non-addictive. I don't want addictive. 我不要它成瘾，我不要专人给我。No, I don't need the anesthesiologist in the middle of the night give me a narcotics. No, I want a non-controlled, non-additive, but I want a potent painkiller. If one of you knows, if you want a potent painkiller, that would be narcotics. No. There are 4 different receptors for pain control. The first one, mu receptor, that will cause addictive and all these things and that, you know, all those side effects. But kappa receptor has equivalent potent with mu receptor, but without those side effects. So we focus on a kappa receptor instead of mu receptor. That's another thing. That's one thing. So especially nowadays, even today, until today, there's no any drug lasting more than 1 day can be used for post-operative pain. Not even one. You know, oh, there's a fentanyl patch for 3 days. No. In the insert said very clearly, fentanyl patch cannot be used for post-operative pain. So you see, after you give someday you will have surgery. No drug lasts more than 3 days, more than 1 day. So we try to develop a drug, give you 1 single injection lasts for 8 days. And non-addictive, potent as morphine, something like that. Okay, the C is a safe drug, such as the #1 drug in the whole world for pain control is acetaminophen, paracetamol. But in the United States, 39% of the acute liver failure caused by acetaminophen are Panadol. They are Tylenol. And in England, 51% of acute liver failure caused by acetaminophen. That's a very toxic drug, you know. Some young lady wants to suicide, committing suicide, just take a bottle of acetaminophen. 3 days later, she disappeared. That's a very toxic compound, although under 4 gram daily dose, it's safe. But somebody takes simply 1 dose, causes very severe side effect because of genetic problem. Okay, so such as we develop acetaminophen without hepatotoxicity. We develop anti-TB drug without hepatotoxicity and so on and so on. The last one, I can think of targeting drug. Usually targeting drug is relatively narrow, but with broad spectrum. That's a niche. You think about it, you may find something like that, and so on and so on. Quickly. So unmet medical need for public health. I will give you very quick this TB examples, TB application. Top 5 most feared diseases in ancient China. This is written in 内经, 黄帝内经. This is really old. More than 3,000, 4,000 years ago, this book says the first one is typhoid, the second one malaria, the third one is TB, the fourth one is leprosy, the fifth one is smallpox. You find out only the third one, TB haven't solved yet. The number 1, 2, 3, 4, number 1, 2, 4, 5. You can control, you can even eradicate it, but not TB. So TB is really a problem. And you see the prevalence and instance of TB nowadays in our world. Top 5 countries, most of them in this area. The prevalence number each year about 5 million people. Just this area. The number 1 is India, number 2 China, Indonesia, then Pakistan, Bangladesh, and so on. And the instance is not 5 million, 7 million or more. So this is a severe disease from 4,000 years ago until today. And so many famous people died. I share with you. The celebrity died because of TB. The first one is Lin Huiyin, the second one Li Shutong. You know all these people. The third one Lin Dai. Oh, Lin Dai is not a real person, but Lin Dai from Nobel still died of TB. I will say the next one. And also the Lu Xun. I got so many people. So I'll just share you some of them. This is a celebrity died because of TB in the Western world. The number 1, you may not know him, but you heard about him very, very often. Is Henry, who is the civil disobedience. He wrote this book, but when he wrote it? It's last century, 1817 to 1867. So in our country, just last year, we have this 太阳花 issue, 不服从, 公民不服从论. It's very, very old theory from this person who died because of TB. And you see Goethe, famous Goethe, and also in the right-hand side, Fei Wenli. Fei Wenli, in the movie, of course. The one in the Western world from movie, and the other one from our world is from novel, from Hong Luo. So not only all these pictures and peoples, and just recently the New England Journal of Medicine mentioned shortening treatment for tuberculosis back to basic. That's the main thing, shortening the treatment. Nowadays, you take drug, a TB patient take drug for 8 to 9 months, every day, try to get rid of your TB. And the second day, after get rid of TB, the second day, he can reinfect it again. And it takes another 9 months. Your grandson will say to you, "You're a very stupid scientist, Grandpa, you're a very stupid scientist. Single shot should be cure infectious disease. Why you take 9 months drug?" Simply stupid. You think about this. So why cause this? Also the Lancet said the same thing. And in Taiwan, top 10 drugs received the drug relief compensation. The first 3 is Stevens-Johnson syndrome. The fourth one, actually the number 2, caused the top 10. It's isoniazid for TB drug. You see, our liver problem is the center of this, in Taiwan, the center of disease, liver. So we do something about this. You have to know the background, where's the niche. You see the red character here. If a patient with hepatitis, there will be significant higher liver damage caused by the anti-TB drug for those patients who has hepatitis. In Taiwan, it's 34.9% of those patients were harmed by this anti-TB drug. So now, in Taiwan right now, or in the rest of the world, it relates to TB, you see the left-hand side, the red circle, we call it vicious circle. Vicious circle is 恶性循环. And the right one, green one, is the virtuous circle, 是良性循环. How can we make a vicious circle into a virtuous circle? 怎么样让恶性循环变成良性循环? You have to find out the problem. You see a new instant TB case, then move to, if you give a drug, 4 different drugs for the first 2 months, 4 different drugs, whole lot of drugs every day, including isoniazid, pyrazinamide is the build of 4 drugs. And if 34% of the patient develop liver dysfunction, they will stop taking the drug. They simply stop. And also, if they don't stop, they will forget taking the drug because it takes 9 months to take the drug. So the hepatic side effect and a long treatment duration cause the treatment stop, poor compliance, and then recurrent or again resistant, or of course the control failure, and then infection again, infect to another person. This is the cycle. If we can get rid of the hepatic disease and also we can increase the dose to 3 times, which we are doing, 3 times, then we might shorten the treatment time from 9 months to 3 months, or even shorter. And also the prevention. Nowadays in the whole world, there's no prevention program. There's no, simply because anti-TB drug, the drug causes hepatic disease. Nobody, no healthy normal subject want to take the drug for 8 months or 6 months to prevent, simply because talk to you, you are the TB patient, talk to you for some time. It takes 9 months drug, forget it. If you tell them, we have a drug without hepatotoxicity, you can take just 2 months and then prevent your TB. Well, that will be totally different. So that's what I'm doing. Let's share with you. We developed a new anti-TB drug without hepatotoxicity. But the importance is you don't spend too much money to develop. Because for what? Because of this objective here. If you really want to have a successful drug to treat TB, not safe, not efficacious is the first priority. Affordable is the first priority. Because all the poor people get TB. Because all the drugs purchased by the government to provide to the TB patient. The government also poor. So if you develop a new drug, brand new drug, costs you a fortune, then the drug will be failure. There were examples. So affordable. The second thing is accessibility. The third thing is immediately. We need it badly. Last year, more than 600 people died in this country because of TB. 10 years ago, it's about 1,100. 1,100 people died simply because of TB in this country. Unbelievable. So the fourth and fifth is efficacious and safe. That's the same, in my mind, try to develop this drug. So I still take isoniazid, pyrazinamide, because isoniazid in this country is cost 0.2 new Taiwan dollars. That cheap. Cheaper than糖球, sugar cane, sugar ball. Very cheap. So I use cheap drug, less expensive drug, make it into a hepatotoxicity free. How should I do that? How do I do that? This is isoniazid causes liver disease. It's simply because this group of metabolite causes hepatotoxicity, and also this hydrazine causes hepatotoxicity. If I can block this one, and also I can change this one, and don't let this have toxic metabolite formation, then I might do it. I might do it. But what agent you are going to use to block them? Of course, safe compound, cheap compound, less expensive compound. Don't use a new chemical entity to block them. Also, another drug, pyrazinamide, used for more than 50 years. Nobody knows what really caused the hepatotoxicity equivalent to isoniazid cost. So we started. We use liver cell from liver cell all the way to animal to human. We found out this is the compound. This is the compound really caused hepatotoxicity. 5-hydroxyperoxyl acid. Very toxic. And it's one of the metabolites. Since we know the metabolite, we know how to block it. I was and am very lucky. The same enzyme for isoniazid. And also the rifampin induced the same enzyme. So isoniazid, rifampin, pyrazinamide, 3 of them, 2 of them really cause hepatotoxicity, 1 is helper. So now if I block 2 enzymes, all these 3 will cause no hepatotoxicity. So we did it. We found one very simple, safe compound, 2 of them. We blocked them, and then we start our animal study. This is the animal study, 3 different drugs given to the animal, and we found out the liver damage like this. This is before, this is after we treat them with our drug. So you see, back to normal, back to the basic. And the price of the drug, probably the same as previous. Because we use so cheap, so less expensive, we select from 193 of them, very carefully use human liver to select them. Okay, so we start our phase 2, phase 3, phase 1. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 study. Now it's almost finished phase 3 study. We are doing this study in 24 medical center and hospital in this country. I am this CRA for the last 5 years. You see how to do CRA. I am the CRA. Of course, we have a whole team, but any time hospital call me, Oliver, you should be here tomorrow morning 6:30. I will be there. I will be there. Solve the problems. That's the way to do clinical trial in this country, or you will not get nowhere. So we use a very special method which we developed to measure the residual liver function. That's one of our secret tools. This method have already recommended by US FDA in the year 2003, putting guidance for industry. Says if you are doing some study for pharmacokinetics in patients with impaired liver function, you can use my method, which developed by who? Who developed? Who developed? The last name is who? Okay, and also this method listed in our country, and also recommended, and also listed in the most popular textbook applied by pharmaceutical pharmacokinetics, and also recently drug disposition and pharmacokinetics. This is another textbook in the United States, also use our method. And so we use that method, we set up our phase 3 study. You see our phase 3 study, originally we need 352 patients will be enough, because we have some genetic design. I don't have time to say this. If you are interested, invite me to give me more quickly, I will tell you in great detail. Okay, so now it's 400 some patients, and also DSMB. Just last month, DSMB want to check our program, and I was afraid, because I was afraid. DSMB USA stop the clinical trial because the data is beautiful. But I have already got money already. I want to finish. Because it's double blind. I don't want any surprise. So I want to get more patients, and then when it's unblinded, the P was smaller than 0.0005, something like that. Okay? So we're not going into detail because I still have some time to show this very quickly. The last one, pain control. Pain control I put last is because it's very, very interesting. So how can you design a drug with one shot lasting for 8 days and without all this toxicity and so on and so on? So this is our medical need. You have already know. Moderate to severe pain and non-addiction, non-respiratory depression, non-lethal, and long-acting. We design a pro-soft drug. This pro-soft drug like this. Like what? Like this multiple warhead missile. Because the drug enter the body and very quickly become identical several of them, identical active moiety. And also because of this pro-soft drug, we can make it into a long-acting dosage form. The original one cannot. So it's simple, very less expensive, and just use this idea, we come up with this very powerful multiple warhead missile. You see, although I was born in a year of a horse, but I'm still like talking about science. I'm still like something 18 years old. Okay, so this is a project achievement. I'm not going to share with you because this is mine. So the patents, many different country patents and published paper like this to support our, and also the R&D did in the United States. The phase 1 did in the United States and the drug prepared in the United States, but and also toxicology study in the United States, but the rest in Taiwan, including phase 2, including high dose phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3, but the toxicology in the United States. Okay, this is the picture, very quick show to you. The original drug, which is kappa receptor agonist, mu receptor antagonist, and show the duration like this. This is day, you see, this is 4 days and 8 days. And the original drug, if I don't make it into a pro-soft drug, it's dropped like this in the bloodstream. And this is in the Bigodol, imported from the United States again. This is the duration for our pro-soft drug. So we did our phase 1, 2 phase 1 study, and then we have already finished our phase 2, phase 3 study. The study design like this. This is very good study design. Before surgery, we give a shot. After the body check, after we check the patients, take the blood and all this blood routine and so on and so on. And then we give the shot to the patient. And also tell the patient, don't worry, during surgery you will not feel pain because I have already given you the pain control. Because this is a long acting, I have to give it before surgery. 24 hours before. So we did. And then the result like this. The primary endpoint is area under the curve for the 48 hours after surgery. And we measure the VAS score, which is the PAN, International Standard VAS score. We measure it. You see the p-value after we are up. This is, I think, 220 patients. Hemorrhage operation. The p-value is less than 0.00. It's the same as 0.005. So highly significant difference compare our drug with active control with ketoconazole, very often used in post-operative surgery. So so many people help us in TV. I told you 24 of them, 24 hospitals. I haven't heard any other clinical trial conducted in this country more than 24 hospitals involved. So every day, show my line. We have a huge group line people together. Oh, we just recruit one patient. Say congratulations. Just like you sell the house. 记不记得卖预售屋？哪一家预售屋一卖，哇，全场都讲说，哦，这个又卖了一户，哦，又收了一个病人，哦，我又 recruit another patient. Have to like this, you see, to complete the clinical study. I even quit my minister without portfolio to continue this study. Okay, this is the SDE, the pain control group. Only 3 hospitals are involved, and this is my group in my university. Haven't finished yet. I got 1 more minute to go. So, haven't successful yet because the regulatory body agency haven't said yes yet. Haven't said yes. So I will make a joke about US FDA. When laughter is the best medicine, show on the newspaper in the weekend. You know what happened? The second day, Monday, the US FDA had a formal press conference. Says, we have heard that laughter is the best medicine. Since it's a medicine, so beginning Monday, we will be regulating it. US FDA want to regulate laughter, you see, simply because laughter can reduce the pain. So how difficult to deal with the agency. So once the agency says yes, then the conclusion will be have a clue. You will have a clue. Thank you very much for you share with my thought relating the technology, my experience, but not the experience of technology transfer in Taiwan. It's just myself. But I have already shared with you year 2011 to 2015 what happened in Taiwan among this 520 all the way to how many successful stories in Taiwan. But the successful rate is still 17.3%. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.